Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Split Tech City podcast. Today we are joined by Ilkka-Cristian Niemi. He's from Finland originally and is the founder of Software Sauna, a startup here in Croatia. Hello Ilkka.
Good morning. Hi.
Good morning. Welcome to Split.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here in
Yes.
the sunny Split.
Yes, in sunny Split. So tell me a little bit about yourself. You come from Finland and you came to Croatia. How did that came to be?
Long story short, I was living 10 years almost in Poland before, and during summer holidays we were visiting quite often with my friends here in Croatia, and somehow the idea just started that way, that maybe one day it would be nice to live here, and pretty much at some point then we came up with the idea with my founding partner that let's do it, let's establish Software Sauna. That time without name yet, but Croatia was number one on the list, and obviously we did some market research, but also my love to Croatia and willingness to live here, that was the main driver. But also the market research showed us that Croatia might be a good place to set up our startup.
Okay. And Software Sauna, how did the name come to be? I mean, is it like a hot new startup in Croatian ecosystem? Was that the idea behind it or something else?
I hope it is, like generally, but of course the idea was, well, we all founders and let's say the ownership of the company is in Finland, company is Croatian, so we wanted to have something which kind of tells to people everywhere that the company has something to do with Finland, and what's more Finnish than sauna.
True.
So that was probably the initial trigger for the name as well. And you're probably not surprised if I tell that the name was invented in sauna after a couple of beers.
No, it doesn't come as a surprise at all. So what exactly do you do? What does Software Sauna do? And is it the initial idea or did you have to pivot on the way?
Idea is initial, of course. Like during the way, you try to find the, let's say, the best path, or what is the idea, or you need to try to. I mean, you need to be always flexible and see what works out and what doesn't. We are a software development agency, and our focus is mainly on modern JavaScript, web technologies, and then also mobile app development. And most of the clients at the moment are from Finland, but also other Nordics, and not only, but that's where we stand today after 3 years starting.
Okay, and I mean, starting a startup in Croatia, some people say that, yeah, we are still in development when it comes to our startup ecosystem. And did you come upon some obstacles that you had to resolve, or how difficult was the path of like your startup journey right here in Croatia?
Let's say that from the bureaucratic point of view, I was actually even a bit surprised in the beginning. Well, I mean, I have my history 10 years in Poland, so I was already fighting a bit with bureaucracy. So keeping that in mind, I think everything went very smoothly here. And I guess it's everywhere, wherever you go. Even if you are in your own country, you should have a good lawyer and good accountant. And those two people are, you know, they're gonna help you on the way. So with their help, everything's been pretty easy.
So you think that the best thing to do for anyone who wishes to start a company here, start a startup and begin that journey here, the best advice you'd give would be to have a good lawyer, have a good accountant, to kind of cover those bases to navigate.
Definitely, and I think that, like, for sure, it's not everything is obvious for local people also. Like,
yes, true.
Like there is a bit red tape.
Yeah.
So you know, accountant helps you with the taxation and all the finance stuff, and lawyer knows the way a round of many obstacles. So definitely, if you want to sleep better, those people will help you.
Okay, so to focus on the important things.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Rather, like I would definitely outsource, and the price is still not too high here in terms of opening the company, even if the lawyer takes care of everything. Okay. So I definitely recommend that. You will save some
nerves,
some
will
nerves
be salvaged
and
in the
some
process.
headache. You will avoid some headache. Absolutely.
Good to know. Good to know,
yeah.
for everyone who wishes to follow that same journey you did. Now, you mentioned red tape. When it comes to bureaucracy here in Croatia and any other possible obstacles that we might encounter as entrepreneurs here, do you have maybe some ideas on how to improve that? Do you have, like, for example, something along the way that your company went through and then you thought to yourself, well, maybe this could be improved if they did that? So do you have any kind of tips for Croatian bureaucratic system?
I think that the situation where we are at, that a lot of people are moving out, especially those who we would not like to move out, younger, high educated people. It should be pretty easy to start a company, and let's say the entrepreneurs should be supported by the government and by the local authority, whoever authorities. So of course those processes should be done a bit more smooth. Let's put it this. Of course, like with the time, certain things should be automated or digitalized, so that you don't have to visit all the offices, but you would actually. And there is already quite a lot of things you can do online, but I guess on that side there is always something to improve.
True, and I mean a lot of that digitalization came as a result of the pandemic. We have to admit that because of that we got a little bit more digitalized than we were before. So in a way we proved that we can improve, so now we should just keep on the right track.
Definitely. I mean, I guess that happened all around the world, but also considering Croatia particularly now, I think there were a lot of good things what happened among Corona, like
yes.
on the way.
On the way.
On
yes,
the way.
Yes. So there were positives.
Yeah, there were definitely.
And when it comes to startup ecosystems, what's your opinion on associations like Split-City and other similar associations in other cities in Croatia when it comes to the growth of the ecosystem and the support and maybe connections that are made? Do you have any point of view on that? Was it helpful for you to maybe be a part of an association, or maybe did you, after starting your company, join any kind of organization or association that kind of gathers the tech community together?
Actually, in Zagreb we are still based. Let's see now when we start to slowly get back to the office. The team has been growing, so probably we have to get out there on our own, but we are located still in Hub 385, so I think that's one of the main drivers in the Zagreb startup scene, and there were a lot of helpful people in the beginning. Even when we were doing kind of the research, we visited them, and they were telling us a bit insights about the Croatian startup ecosystem and generally what's going on in the tech scene and so on. And definitely, like, okay, now we are in Split and thinking about what you are doing here and bringing together the ecosystem. I think that's super valuable job you are doing. And it's like, well, I started my company in a bit older age, let's say. So I wasn't 20 or directly from the university, and there is a lot of people who do that, and they don't necessarily find their way, or like all these bureaucratic things, and like generally they don't have the network yet in the business. So for that, these kind of associations are very valuable, because you can really bring together people with same mindset or with the same business or supporting functions, you can find a cooperation partner. So it's like it's a very, very important.
Good to know.
Right.
That's the reason why we are doing this.
Absolutely.
And were you surprised maybe that even though our ecosystem is relatively small and just in its beginning stages, we have to admit that, were you surprised to find that there are associations like this that are already working here to try to gather the community together? Or was it something that you expected to find?
Maybe I was kind of expecting it already. Because like when there is the entrepreneurial mind in the city, somebody will do something like this. And it's of course, like I said, it's great to see what you are doing here, and Split as a tech city is growing and attracting more locals, more foreign companies, and what is most important, that the local people are setting up their startups. So let's say I was expecting something like this to be here, but how active you are, maybe that's being a bit positive surprise, definitely.
Yeah. That's also good to hear. Yeah. Now, done with work chat, because we have to have a work-life balance here.
Yes, absolutely.
That's true. I mean, did you maybe find that your work-life balance improved upon coming here and starting to work in Croatia?
Well, it's being an entrepreneur is always a bit stressful, but well, if you look at the surroundings, you cannot complain too much. So definitely, in a many ways, at least like it's easier to take or calm down and take it easy when you really have to. So definitely enjoy being here, and I think that for me it is the right place to be, and especially finding the work-life balance.
And you mentioned the surroundings. Any favorite spots in Croatia you like to frequent on your downtime while you're resting?
There's actually quite many. Of course, during the pandemic year I've been in Split quite often, and that island behind our backs, so in Brač.
Wonderful.
So
Brač.
Last summer, well, that was the positive sides of the epidemic, that you were really able to work anywhere, which will hopefully continue. But sure. The world has changed. It will not be the same again. But I spent like 13 weeks last summer on the coast.
Nice.
Most of the time working, but you know.
But also enjoying, because you cannot
absolutely
avoid that.
You know, going to swim on the lunch break, what can be better? So.
True, that's true. And you mentioned the remote work thing and the fact that we have already changed a lot when it comes to the way we work. Do you think, in your opinion, will we go back to the way things were, or will companies simply have to adapt to the fact that their employees now kind of got a taste of this remote work kind of thing and now wouldn't want to come back? I mean, we've seen already some examples happening throughout the world with companies agreeing to let people work remotely forever. But what's your point of view on that?
I think, like I said, the world has changed and it will not be the same again anymore. And I think that the companies, if they want to maintain the talent and be competitive still on the talent market, they have to adapt now. It's a talent market. It has been already, but now it's even more. Like if you're gonna force your people who know that they can do the work anywhere they want. So if you're gonna force them to be 5 days a week at the office, that's a dead end, I think.
So your opinion is that we will definitely have to adapt.
Absolutely. And that's like what we are also planning, that I think that generally now, even the pandemic, it changed. We had some very pro office developers in our company, and I know that few of them will still go, but probably not every day. But they want to maybe have their desk, which is completely fine. But then like there were a lot of people also who kind of changed the mindset completely and saying that, well, actually I'm saving 1.5 hours a day taking kids to a kindergarten and so on, if I stay at home and I'm productive at home. So why should you force them to come back to the office? So I think that the office will be more like a meeting point, arranging some specific meetings. You have the physical whiteboard, not online whiteboard, there where people can draw and posted papers, but it will be just a place where the team gets together, and if you want to work at the office, why not? But eventually it's going to be the place to catch up and have some physical meetings
And that's
get together.
Yeah. Now we come back a little bit to the work kind of topic. You're still based in Zagreb. Software Sauna is still based in Zagreb. Now, the key question. When are you branching out to Split? When are you coming here?
Actually, we have now our first guy. He started a couple of weeks ago.
Great to hear.
So definitely looking forward to get at least second and maybe third already this autumn. So the time is near, let's say so. But definitely looking forward. So then I will also have a good excuse to spend more time here.
True, true. I mean, it's not that we don't want you here all the time, but if you really have to split your time, we'll be fine with you splitting your time between
I start to have a few Split-based friends who are really trying to convince me to get here. So yeah, that's under consideration.
Yes, true. And I mean, you mentioned your friends here that are trying to convince you to come to Split permanently. Now, Croatian people, I mean, I bet you're aware that they're not gonna let this issue go easily.
Probably not. Yeah,
probably not. Yeah. And what was your experience with Croatian people when you came here, and like, were they helpful in general? I mean, not just throughout your work experience and in your work environment, but I mean generally, like if you were lost and you had to find your way, do you find Croatians helpful and open to foreigners?
Definitely, and I think that was one of the, I mean, that was already my previous findings from my trips. And well, during the trips also, well, some of the trips included ice hockey in Zagreb, and I met like my first local friends in the game, and basically that was, of course, one of the major reasons, knowing that the local people are very helpful and very friendly. And on the way then, absolutely, there's been a lot of help from not necessarily even my friends, but some associates or whoever you've been asking help for. So definitely makes things easier.
Yeah, true.
And you feel more welcome. True. Well, I mean, I have to answer quite often the question why, but once that's done, everything is okay, and then people understand why you came, and it's like, well, okay, maybe that's a good move.
Yeah, I mean, this question why, I guess, is kind of natural, because one thing every single one of us is blind to is probably the beauty that surrounds us, because we see it on a daily basis, and then we don't actually recognize it.
That's true.
And then people like you come along and kind of open our eyes a little bit to what surrounds us.
Oh, but that's definitely the same. I mean, I've been now out of Finland, I have to really think about it, probably 12 years about. And I start to appreciate it more when I'm, visiting there, and it's only like a couple of times a year or like once a summer. Most of the, well, pre-COVID times, I was visiting most of the, during the winter and autumn and so on. But usually there's a one trip during summer, so you kind of appreciate that more because you don't see it every day.
True.
So probably that's the same here. What
yeah,
applies
the
to
absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Absolutely.
They don't say that in vain.
That's it.
Well, thank you very much for this chat, for sharing your experiences with us and telling us a little bit about yourself and your story. And guys, if you want to know more about internationals in Croatia and the tech scene in Split and beyond, make sure to follow us on all social media and on our YouTube channel. Bye!
Bye!